Today we're going to look at a new unit called Polar. Polar is a new type of graphing system that works. It's kind of like a combination of the two systems you already know. You have learned rectangular before you came into my class. That's where we have an X and Y. And you would have certain amounts from there. We've recently been doing vectors where we would also, which were made up of h cosine of an angle times h sine of an angle. And this would give us an X and Y from here. Okay? So now, what polar is much the same lines. What we have here, this is a radius, and this is an angle. What this tells us, if I want to graph, tells me to take a line that's 1 unit long and take it 200 degrees. So if I started here, it's 1 unit long, and it would go 200 degrees. That's 90. There's 180. So we just passed it like that. This point here, if it was 1 unit long, would be represented of 200 degrees. So we put the point there, and this would be point S. Okay, so this is a point. S is it's 1 unit away at 200 degrees. If I wanted to do this graph, I'd go through the same process, except this time I would go 3 pi over 2. Now, if you remember your radians, pi over 2 is in the place of 90. So this right here is pi over 2, or 90 degrees. It's the same thing. This would be 1 pi. Put the or there. This would right here be 3 pi over 2. So this time, -2. What I would do for that is I'll just get a pointer to say where the location would be. You don't necessarily have to graph this line, but we know that this is 3 pi over 2. But negative means instead of going this way, I go the opposite direction. It would be right here. So this point at this spot would be R if this is 2 units that way, because it's 3 pi over 2, but then -2 units. So I would go the opposite direction for 2 units. So that would be R. I have here more appropriately graphed both those points. So point S was found 200 degrees, 1 unit away. Here, I went 270 degrees, or 3 pi over 2, and then I went the opposite direction for 2 units. Here's one for you to try. I'll let you graph it and then find your right location. You can now pause it and then come up with your solution. As you look, you're looking for 120 degrees and then 3 units. The correct answer would be B, because this is just past 90 and then 30 more degrees. This one, though it says 120, we know that's not 120 degrees that way. That's more, that would be greater than 120. So I don't know what this is. We'll just say maybe 150. So the answer choice would be B.